Hi guys, this is Emily Cupelli, and for today's card I'll be using the layered butterfly from Team Holtz and C6, which includes a butterfly die and its coordinating embossing folder. I started die cutting the butterfly out of Strathmore watercolor paper. Now I'll color the wings using my tumbled glass distress ink and a round blending tool. As you can see, I didn't color the edges since I'll color them now with the antique linen distress ink. Then I'll use the script stamp from the Reflections stamp set from Team Holtz to stamp the inside of the embossing folder using the aquamarine archival ink. I'm being very careful to not press too hard to avoid getting ink in the lower areas of the folder. Then I aligned the butterfly and passed it through my big chat machine. To make the raised areas more noticeable, I'll go over them with my vintage photo distress ink and sponge dauber. I'll go very lightly only over the raised areas to avoid getting ink on the lower areas. Although it doesn't matter if I get just a bit of the brown in the lower areas since I'm going for a pretty distressed look in this card. This is going to make the raised details in the butterfly pop. As you can see, I'm coloring not only the details in the wings, but also the body of the butterfly. This is a beautiful butterfly and I love the way it turns out, so much that I think it would be perfect to simply glue it on top of an A2 white card base to make a quick and simple card. You could leave it sticking out the card or trim it to make it fit the card. Anyhow, for this particular card and tutorial, I'll also embellish the card base. I'll quickly show you how I started coloring the main panel, although I ended up changing it. I used the Chubby Shutter's Distress ink and a round blending tool to color it. Then I placed a polka dot stencil over it and lightly sprayed it with water and dabbed it with a paper towel. Finally, added some peeled paint on the edges using a round blending tool. I didn't get the color or effect I was looking for, so I decided to change it. For this, I used the peeled paint distress ink pat directly to the paper, which by the way is Strathmore watercolor paper. Then I used my round blending tool to blend the ink and remove the excess. Once I was happy with the result, I went ahead and dried it with my heat gun. We'll use the polka dot stencil from Heidi Swap again, but this time we'll add more of the peeled paint distress ink instead of removing it. For this, I'm using my round blending tool. Now we'll use my Inca Dinkadu lace doilies stamp set and we'll stamp them on my panel using my Encore ink pad in gold. Also notice that my panel is 5 by 5 inches since I'm making a 5.5 square card to make the butterfly fit inside of it. Originally I thought I would trim it, but I really liked it, so I simply decided to make a bigger card. To stick the butterfly to my panel, we'll add some runner adhesive behind its body and a double layer of foam squares to the wings. Since the panel is so dark, I'm using some black foam squares from scrapbook adhesives. This way, it is not so noticeable when you look at the card from the sides. Also, I'm using my scissors to cut these squares smaller to make them fit the areas where I want to stick them. Then I'll remove the backing paper and we'll stick it to my card. Now we'll run the right corners of my panel as well as the right corners of the card base using my corner jumper. And we'll glue both together using my liquid glue from Tombow. Then we'll use the So Happy stamp set from Every L to stamp my sentiment inside of the card using the Encore ink pad in gold. Using some tiny hearts, we'll embellish the sentiment a bit more. I believe the hearts are from the Long Foam Winter Alpaca. After I had my card all finished, I smudged some ink into the white border, so also added some antique linen to it. Anyhow, I really like the final result. I feel it is a bit different to what I always tend to make, which is a nice change once in a while. I really hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did and subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. Don't forget to visit my blog to see the list of supplies and more close-up pictures. Here are 3 more cards for you to watch, perfect for Mother's Day. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!